Welcome in to another episode of my Dynasty Fantasy Football YouTube. Today, I have a different type of episode detailing why you should join my Patreon and what I'm offering on there. But first, as always, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't yet. With that said, let's jump into it. So, let's be honest. This is the hardest time of the year to acquire new patrons. The season just ended. You know, like it's quiet, not a lot going on. A lot of people leaving, not a lot of people joining. So, how am I going to combat that? What am I going to do? The free trial program, I tried that. It didn't work. It didn't work because the conversion rate was too low. And also, there was no requirement to actually show a payment method. So, that's never coming back. That's not coming back. I've tried it now a few times. It's never worked. It's never worked. So, what I'm going to do is offer discounts, especially during the very quiet times of the year. So, for right now, 50% discount at all tiers using the code TylerYT. Now, I'm going to keep that going at a minimum until when free agency starts. Then I think when free agency starts and things pick up a little bit, I'm going to lower the discount. And then during rookie season, there's going to be an even lower discount. Probably something more along the lines of 20-25% for a month. If you use this code at checkout, you're going to get a 50% discount off your first month at whatever tier you choose, no matter how expensive. And again, it only applies to the first month. I'm always going to have an extra discount for YouTube viewers. If you know, sometimes I do a discount for everybody for a month. I do have a 20% discount for everyone. So 20% discount for everyone, 50% discount for YouTube viewers. So this code is not advertised anywhere but YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can get 30% more off. So I am trying to reward people who are here. And it's always going to be like that. On the monthly discount that I'm offering, the YouTube amount is always going to be more than the everyone else amount. Sometimes it's going to be zero for everyone else, and the YouTube is getting whatever it is. With that being said, if you want this discount, sign up today before it goes away. Like I said, this is not going to be permanent. In season, maybe it'll be, 20-25% for YouTube and zero for everyone else. Something along those lines is what I'm kind of anticipating. Now, you can also choose a yearly plan, and this has a separate discount structure. 20% discount off all 12 months. And that's not only the first 12, that's forever off every 12 months. So a 20% discount per month permanently if you sign up through yearly billing. That is a built-in Patreon feature, not a temporary discount. And it's permanent. You can switch from monthly to yearly after you sign up. And this is always going to be there. It's never going to change. So if you stay year-round, which is really what I need because I want to be a year-round content creator, you get 20% off a month forever. So this is not just a promo rate. This is a forever discount. So this is one of my biggest discounts. And, I'm really hoping that people take me up on it. I always encourage people to switch to yearly. And I also don't have to chase down your payments. So that's always an option. That will always remain at 20% because it's the maximum Patreon allows me to make it. If Patreon allowed me to make it 25%, I would, at least. Maybe I'd even go up to 30 for yearly billing. It would be pretty high. This is just the maximum Patreon will allow. So I always want people to sign up yearly. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Patreon offerings. Now, I've talked about this on the other Patreon promo videos. I talk about this a lot. So there's three main parts, right? There's my rankings, the Discord, and direct message advice. None of these things are available for free. You cannot get them for free. I am not offering those things for free anywhere. You have to pay to get those things. I am not offering them for free. I am not offering similar experiences for free. That's not going to happen. I will just block you on Twitter. I do not care about my Twitter following really anymore with how much of a hellscape that is. I do not care. I do not care. If you're saying I should offer content for free, that's fine. My YouTube videos are free. I'm not going to put them behind a paywall. But that's it. You can enjoy my YouTube content, never sign up for the Patreon. It is what it is. Fair enough. But the other things, rankings, Discord, direct message advice, these will not be free. They will never be free. So don't ask for them to be free. That's not going to happen. Now, a little bit of detail. Rankings. They're available at all tiers of the Patreon. They include Dynasty, overall and positional. I separate that out. And rookie ranks. I just made them live. And then during appropriate times of year, redraft, usually sometime in July, and then starts it every week throughout that time of year. Now, you can buy a yearly subscription to the rankings separately through my Buy Me a Coffee page. It costs $25 for my ranks only for the year. There are some people, and I get it, who they want to see my rankings. They're not really interested in interacting. You're not interested in interacting with me. You're not interested in my community. You're not interested in my write-ups that I do or any of that other stuff. You just want the rankings. So I offer that at a discount, $25 for the rest of 2025. Then if you want it for 2026, it will be another $25 or whatever I make the price for the year. It'll still be a discount. So I offer that separately. Again, not free, but I offer it separately from the Patreon, but it's included at all Patreon tiers. Discord. Now, the Discord is available at all tiers. It's included at all tiers of the Patreon. It's my version of community. So this is a long time ago, I think. There's probably a lot of people who follow my content. And really, so I started doing YouTube videos about 13, 14 months ago. Videos, not live streams, like videos. Right when I started doing that, I stopped taking questions on these other platforms. The Discord is my version of that. I will not be taking question and answer on Twitter, X, if you want to call it that, or Blue Sky. It's not Twitter specifically, although I will say I don't love Twitter, but it's not like I'm going to go take them on Blue Sky ever again. That's not coming back. The question and answer where you ask me this and I respond and give you advice, that's not coming back. The same goes for the YouTube comments here. And I explained it a little bit. I did a post on Blue Sky about why I feel this way. Let's be honest, right? Some people say, well, you should do the content for free, right? I mean, do the content for free, interact in social media for free. It would be one thing if I interacted in social media in my regular life. But I don't. I don't use Instagram. I don't use Facebook. I don't use Twitter for my social life. I don't use Blue Sky. I don't use these platforms. If I were not trying to be a fantasy football analyst as a job, I would not have these platforms. So for those people saying, oh, you should do it for free, I just wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be there. I'm only on those platforms for business. So that's not going to happen. Now, as for the YouTube comments here, I do respond to them. If you start asking me about your team, I'm going to point you to the Patreon. That's not going to change. And if you complain about it, I'm going to remove your ability to make comments. Because again, this YouTube exists a large part to promote the Patreon. So if you're going to tell me I'm never going to sign up, there's no real reason for me to let you make any more comments. So I do like the YouTube comment section a little bit better because I can just delete things I don't like, block people I don't like. I just prefer that. And the Discord I like because when people are paying for something, they are a lot more respectful when they're using it. So I rarely have issues in the Discord. I find people are very nice to me. And I'm active in there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I don't really take days off. So I'm always there. And that's what a lot of people say that they like about me is that they have access to the creator. Whereas in a lot of other Patreons, I hear that that is not the case. So I'm not hiding. I'm just only there. I'm only there for paying customers. So yeah, it's kind of my goal in the Discord. And then direct message advice, that's exactly what it sounds like. It's available at tiers $12 and up. And basically, it's think of it not as a one-time team breakdown, which I do offer. I'll explain that in a second. But it's a relationship. When we first meet, I will go over your team. We'll talk about it a little bit, but then we're going to go over time. We're going to make sure you don't make any bad trades. Consult me with your moves. We can talk through a rookie draft. I'll talk you through a startup. I haven't done that in a while. Not as many new Dynasty leagues starting, but I love when people join for a startup. Then we're going to start with a great team. But this is what I built the Patreon on, actually. Direct message advice came first, before rankings and before the Discord. So this is the original thing that launched the Patreon and made the Patreon so successful in the first place. So I love talking with people. I mean, sometimes I have, 50, 60, 70 conversations a day. I think a lot of people on Twitter or whatever think that I'm like an introvert because I don't really respond, but I'm not at all. I'm actually a very extroverted person. I love having conversations, just not on social media. I'm much better in a one-on-one setting. But I love people. I'm not shy, and I don't mind. I can easily keep track of 20, 30 different conversations with 2 or 3 different teams each, all at the same time. That's not hard for me. I do that every Sunday morning on Start Sit, and that's easy for me. So, yeah, this is what the Patreon was launched on, and it's my best offering. Now, there's a few things that are kind of newer. Those 3, rankings, Discord, direct message advice, those have been around for many years. This year, we started the Patreon roster reviews. These are a separate add-on thing. They're sold separately at $30 each, but only patrons can buy them. But all patrons can watch everyone else's. So I think I've done about 75 of these, which is probably more than you'd think. But people are really like them. And yeah, you can watch them at all Patreon tiers. But if you want to buy them, they're $30 each in addition on top of your Patreon subs. I do offer a deal at the highest Patreon tiers where they're included. But basically, I just go over your team once, and it's kind of a one-time breakdown. I think they're helpful, and people like talking about them. And again, I've done 75 of them. So I must be doing something right if I've done 75. People must be liking them. Now, a couple more things. I'm doing a series right now, NFL Team Breakdowns. It's a written series, and I publish it both on the Patreon website and in the Discord. So it's available to all patrons at all tiers. And basically, I write up each NFL team. We do a little fantasy perspective, a little recap, a little look to the future. This is my main current written project. I've done other written projects on the Patreon in the past, but mostly recently. This is, I used to be a writer at DLF. I don't really do that anymore. And to be honest, while I found that, DLF was a great place to write for a period of time, I have found it's not just them. But there's the fantasy writing industry in general. I have found an emphasis on profit and click-through rate and other things, and less of an focus on the writer's creativity or what I actually want to do. I can tell you this series would not have been approved. So I think it's just allowing me to. I got my start as a writer, right? A lot of people don't know that. Not on Twitter, not on YouTube. But as a writer, that was actually kind of how I started. So it gives me a chance to do something that I'm kind of good at without having to go through the whole writing process where an article takes like 5 days to do. So it's just something I've added as a Patreon exclusive on Patreon. And lastly, this is a big one. Rookie content. There will be no rookie content anywhere from me until April, except the Patreon. It's Patreon exclusive. There will certainly be no YouTube videos. I will not be doing rookie YouTube videos on the YouTube until April. Why is that? I tried it last year. They were unsuccessful. They did very poorly. So yeah, they didn't perform. People were not interested in them. And yeah, it was a lot of work all for nothing. And I find that, I don't know, patrons really like when I do my rookie content. I think rookie content being more of a discussion and interactive thing is much more valuable coming from me. And we've already had a lot of great discussion. I have a whole section of the Discord for rookie content. Might do some rookie write-ups as well. But there won't be any content on the YouTube related to rookies. So that's going to be a Patreon exclusive until April at a minimum. And there's also going to be no NFL draft live streams. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a Patreon only live stream, but I'm not doing a public live stream for the NFL draft. That's been a bust for multiple years in a row. So I'm not bringing that back. So again, if you're looking for like up to the minute engagement instead of just when I decide to publish the YouTube video, you have to sign up for the Patreon. You're not going to get my immediate reactions to things, including rookies, except on the Patreon. You're going to get summary videos, later videos on the YouTube, but I'm also not going to be covering like news. I'm not going to do that this year either, like breaking news videos on the YouTube. I'm going to stick to my recording schedule for the YouTube. So you won't see breaking news videos, rookies or otherwise. There's just kind of, I'm pulling all of that off and putting it all behind the paywall. Whereas the YouTube content will just be the Monday, Wednesday, Friday videos, and during quieter times, Monday, Friday. Yeah. So rookie content will come later on the YouTube. But for now, it's already live on Patreon. My rookie ranks are up there. Now, I don't want to spend 10 minutes on this. I think I've said this enough times. Why signing up for the Patreon matters. But I'll just say it very quickly. I think some people think, those who are not very well informed, think that like my YouTube makes thousands of dollars or the Twitter makes lots of money. My last revenue check from X was $10. So that's not obviously really significant. From YouTube, a good month, $100, $200 of ad revenue. It's a good month. That would be if everything went well. A month. I mean, that's not a lot either. So these things are not bringing in the needed revenue to make this work. It's nice to have something. My YouTube finally doesn't lose money. That's nice. But if you want to continue seeing my content long term, it's not going to come through these ad revenues from these places. That is not going to happen. So if that's not going to happen, then the Patreon is the only way to make that happen. And I have had a lot of great support so far. People have been really supportive of the Patreon. So I'm not saying that that has not been the case, but I think my biggest thing is it's too concentrated during just the 4 to 5 months in season. I need more people to stay long term. And what unfortunately that's, or year round. And I think unfortunately what that's going to mean is I'm going to have to offer less and less free content during the off season. It's the only way to encourage people to sign up. So I hate that that has to be the strategy, but I can't really see any other way. Because what I've learned is if something's available for free, people will do it and not pay. So I don't really see any other way. But with that being said, like I promise I will try to provide the best experience possible. I know this is an 18-minute advertisement. So if you're watching this, I really appreciate you. I'm going to turn the ad revenue on this video off, by the way. So you shouldn't see any ads on this video. There's no monetization on this one. But again, we're almost at a 20-minute ad. So if this wasn't important, would I sit here and record an almost 20-minute advertisement for something? Probably not, right? It wouldn't be worth my time if I didn't care. So again, I just appreciate everyone who considers it and or signs up for the Patreon. Now, if you like the video, make sure to support the channel by subscribing. And don't forget to hit that notifications bell so you can be notified about all my exciting content as it drops. Of course, if you want my best fantasy football advice, of course, it's available on the Patreon as I've gone through in this video. And as a final reminder, there's 50% discount at all tiers using the code TylerYT. You should be able to click on it in the top right corner. Patreon.com/fantasy advice is the link. I don't know how I got that link, but I've had it for years. I'm never giving it up. But click on the link up there. But once again, I appreciate everyone who's taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you all later.